me 5 TV shows, one of which you watched. The other 4 you completely made up. I have ruled out the Biggest Loser, fat guy on a luge, trying to make the U.S. Olympic luge team.
In hindsight, I think I should have said former Biggest Loser contestant.
It might have been. It might have worked.
Benjamin Shaw.
I don't think Hammer and Kale is real because I don't see the Food Network and HGTV doing a collabo, and it doesn't sound like that great of an idea.
Well, they actually collaborate all the time.
Okay, fine. I still don't think it's Hammer and Kale.
Okay.
I don't think it's the malarkey factor because this is the one time where I think you lost a little bit of credibility going with the former Dallas prosecutor, Jack Malarkey. And I think that doesn't sound like a real name. So I'm down to Sink or Swim or Phantom Works. And I think you threw me a head fake. I think you know that I know you like to watch shows about cars. So I think you made up and fabricated the television show Phantom Works, and I think the show you actually watched was Sink or Swim. Now, let me get to the feedback.
All right. Just so people understand, Sink or Swim, a show that airs on CNBC and focuses on overconfident, know-it-all individuals who are ready for a career change.
Bob Turner from our sales staff.
During the screening process, they're presented with several potential new career paths, and eventually their cockiness is put to the test as they are immersed in their new field and given just 2 weeks to sink or swim. Whereas Phantom Works airs on Velocity and shows the daily grind of Dan Short's auto shop in Norfolk, Virginia. Dan's specialty is his attention to detail and taking classic cars left for dead and transforming them into vehicles that end up being in better condition than when they left the assembly line.
Here's some of the feedback we've gotten. It's definitely the Kale one, which is the real show. Has to be Sink or Swim. That's from an unnamed texter. From Jay in Southfield, I think it's the malarkey factor. Next one, Sink or Swim for sure. From Deuce, Sink or Swim. From Andy and Milan, my great-grandmother's maiden name was Malarkey. From Trent and Howell, I freaking love The Biggest Loser, but the answer is Phantom Works. From Mike and Celine, the malarkey factor has to be it because all the other titles would never get anyone to watch. Come on, man. You wouldn't watch The Biggest Loser? And Phantom Works seems the most realistic, but we need to get The Biggest Loser on TV. I am starting to think that that's the case. Also, some have started to put together a TV schedule. 7 o'clock, The Biggest Loser. 8 o'clock, Sink or Swim. That kind of thing. All right, I'm going Sink or Swim. The real TV show is?
It's Phantom Works. That's the real show. Phantom Works. Last night they put back together a 57 Chevy. Another episode had a 53 Cadillac.
So what you're saying is there was no head fake.
No, there was no head fake. I was concerned that I made it too obvious because it is exactly what I've talked about before of watching. I don't think I've ever mentioned Phantom Works I've watched on the air, but it's certainly a show I would watch.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. For those of you...
You didn't like Hammer and Kale? Hammer and Kale, I think, sounds like a real show. Kane, do you think Hammer and Kale could take place?
You sold it pretty well, my friend.
He sold them all really well. I almost want to make this a regular segment, but
I mean, actually, that's the thing about the descriptions of some of these shows are actually descriptions of actual shows. I think, just with different twists to them.
Well, the Gator television network is off to a hell of a start. I think if we're gonna start with turning one of these into a TV show,
you'd want Biggest Loser.
Biggest Loser, without a doubt.
Kang, what show would you like to watch?
I'd like to watch, I think, Biggest Loser also. Involves sports.
Yep.
And competition.
Here's what makes that show. Your loser has to have some personality.
Yes.
If your loser is a funny guy and...
You got to buy into Benjamin Shaw and his struggle. He struggled with weight. He's got a dream. It's not going to be easy to get there.
Right.
Clearly, he's let himself go since he won on The Biggest Loser. But now he's going for The Biggest Loser.
Sink or Swim's not a bad idea for a TV show either, though.
Actually, I think it's a pretty good idea, right?
Yes. The Gator TV network. When we get fired from this job, that's what we'll do next.
I like it.
All right. Okay, so news from the Lions today. Tim Twentyman on Twitter. Ansah, Ziggy, defensive end, Detroit Lions.
Sure.
Ziggy Ansah taking part in open lines practice again today.
They're flaunting it.
Yep. Tomlinson and Bolden also back. So Lakin Tomlinson, who may or may not start. I mean, Graham Glasgow played over 2.5 quarters last week in the win over Philadelphia. So the rookie may get the call over Lakin Tomlinson. But Tomlinson is back in practice, perhaps a sense of urgency on his part. And Anquan Bolden, who's been valuable to this team as a third receiver. And quite frankly, putting up more second receiver. He's getting more action than Golden Tate. But Bolden is also back in practice. However, according to Tim Twentyman on Twitter, no Haloti Nada, no DeAndre Levy, no Eric Ebron, no Theo Riddick, no Larry Warford, or no Dwayne Washington. Larry Warford, was he on the list earlier?
No, Lakin Tomlinson was, but
yeah. So there you go. I think there's a really good chance that Justin Forset's going to play. I think Justin Forset's going to play, and I think Justin Forset's going to. If Washington can't go and Theo Riddick can't go, now we're talking about who's your starting running back.
Yeah.
Are we forgetting
Forsett
somebody?
And Zenner.
It literally will be Zach Zenner. I mean, Zenner will have to get the start because he'll know more of the playbook.
Riddick's got to play, right? What's his issue?
I have to check the report. I'm actually going to do this now. I'm going to check the report. I'm going to literally check the report. But yeah, if those guys all can't go, Zenner and Forsett are your backfield. I remember at the beginning of the year we were talking about it's kind of a deep group of running backs.
The guys, yeah.
Well, it starts with depth matters most when guys get hurt.
That's right.
And yet the truth is, when they all get hurt, you're kind of screwed because they literally are signing a guy off the street that probably will play. Now, he has started an NFL game this year. But Zenner and Forsett does not portend well for a run game. Yet last week, on paper, there's no way they should beat Philadelphia. So
Riddick's got to play. They need Riddick. They need him badly.
Yes, they do.
Tell me he's okay.
I can't.
Well, everybody at practice says Dwayne Washington looks fine. He's looking better.
Hope so.
They could use him.
All right, Gator is 6-1 this year when it comes to picking Monday and Thursday night losers.
That's right.
I am 3-4 when it comes to picking Monday and Thursday night losers. You do a much better job than me. Denver is at the San Diego Chargers. It's time to pick a loser.
Anybody.